Alright, I'm just wrapping up. Almost ready, people. I'm just wrapping up my link spamming, that is. The stream's just getting started. Alright, that's probably enough, I think. Let's get the Holden screen down. Hello, everybody. Let's see, let me just optimize my window arrangements. Just gotta make sure I can see all the sound bars, you know? I don't need to see the main volume though. How's everyone doing tonight? Who we got here? Dark Matter Crafts, hello. Bo, hello. Cyber Scorpio, hello. Sazabi. Welcome everybody. Yes, Bo, I am hobbying tonight, I suppose. I wasn't live right at 7 p.m. my time. You were just on that, Bo. I did not give any prayers to the machine gods. Hello, Robert. Thanks for coming. All right. I don't know if any of you saw the picture I just posted to like my story and tweet, but this is what the base is looking so far. I just kind of started blocking in the gradient, doing gray as to not distract too much from all the colors that are on the Sazabi and the shifter paint along the cracks here. Kind of see the effect on the camera. Maybe if I move it up and down. It's less prominent when you move it up and down, but yeah. Let me know if the mic is loud enough or if the music's too loud, as always. And I can't remember. Yeah, I guess I was using this on the last stream as well. Still on the same piece of paper. It's working all right so far. Still kind of getting the hang of this new wet palette, but I am enjoying it. Now let's turn it this way for the colors we'll be using tonight. Gotta take care of a motorcycle tomorrow. Yeah, it's always the behest of the weather, isn't it? Oh, and I gotta remember to crack this bad boy before it gets room temperature. I move it closer to the mic for the can crack. Oh, that was a loud one. Cheers, everybody. Oh, I should probably remember to record the stream in case I need the footage. All right. So I've already done the, yeah, the glare from the lights is a little... Yeah, I don't think I can help that much tonight. I've already done the basic like blocking in of all the colors. So I think this stream will just get right into the glazing. And colors I'm using, we got our good old golden high flow titanium white. Yeah, 20 bucks sounds about right for a US price there, Dark Matter. I'm enjoying it so far. So I don't want too much to be the pure black. So I think we're not gonna start with black, we're gonna start with like a mix of the gray and black. Probably start with glazing some of that and see how that goes. If you can thin epoxy putty. I don't know the answer to that one. Because I haven't worked with much epoxy putty. You might be able to. I know you can thin stuff like milliput. I'm sorry, that's an area I'm not as knowledgeable in. Is with sculpting things. Okay, let's put these drops of paint not too close to each other on the palette, and then we can have a little mixing zone in the middle. Let's put those in a spot where you can see them on camera just for fun. No problem, Bo. We'll chat when you're here, whenever's good. Oh, you don't have any acrylics to use it for. I mean, yeah, I would get used to, or like, if you're getting used to painting with acrylics and brushes and stuff, I would just like you don't need a wet palette right away. That's maybe like when you've started painting a bit and you've like, you know, you're starting to enjoy it for sure and you want to keep doing it, then like a wet palette is a good like first or like second accessory to buy. Kind of like when you're getting into photography, like a good first accessory you can buy as a tripod. It's like you'll get a lot of use out of it. I guess like maybe that's not a great analogy because not everyone needs a wet palette, or it doesn't work for everyone's style, I suppose. Okay, let's... Oh, we can't forget the glaze medium, of course. Well, let's mix a bit first. We want mostly black. Ooh, burp one of the night. Managed to say that one in the middle of a word, too. Like I prefer. Yeah, we want it fairly dark gray for this first bit of glazing. Yeah, maybe I should have put even more space between them. Yeah, that's not dark gray enough, so I'm just gonna use all the black that's on here. I think I'm just gonna add more black. I always overestimate the strength of this Army Painter black paint. Yeah, I guess you can't quite use wet palettes with enamel or lacquer paints as far as I know. Alright, now I can add some glaze medium. Two drops should be good. For now, we'll make it thinner when we get more towards the back end. Let's mix it with the crappy dollar store brush. And just get a bit of water in there too while we're at it. So I'm always just adding a bit of water out of habit. It's just so easy and convenient to be able to thin with water. It's one of the things keeping me with the acrylics. Could thin it with a bit more glaze medium, but I'm just going to use a tiny little bit of water for now. That I'll just kind of thin as I go. Yeah, no problem, dark matter. Alright. And my hand doesn't have to get all sweaty wearing the glove for this stream. So let's start glazing these gradients. My thought process with blocking out this gradient, because I just kind of improvised in terms of the placements of the tiles, the plastic card tiles. I wonder if I can... No, it's too early to just start blending. Can do a bit of feathering. I don't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, the directions of the blocking of the gradient. When I was doing that last night and earlier today, my thought process was like the middle, the dark end is gonna be towards the middle, and then as it goes out, it gets brighter. That was the main thought process there. When I first started doing it, I wasn't sure if it was the right direction, but then Blue Parappa reassured me, the person commissioning it, and seemed to like this draft that I sent before the stream. And once I like just got the color, like started blocking it all out and working through more of it, I started to feel better about it. And it's always like the same process, like it's in the hot garbage phase, I just need to push through it and it'll get better. Oh, and maybe when we're a bit deeper into the stream, I need a quick painting break, I can get the painted pieces of the Sazabi that are just kind of behind me. I can show them to y'all if you want to see, because the base colors are done being blocked in on that now. So once this base is done, I'll glue the main part of the Sazabi down to it, take some pictures, and then I think I gotta stop working on the Sazabi for a bit until I'm done the battle report. Hello, Tanko Wolf. Yep, that's true, Cyber Scorpio. Weird things happen when you try and thin that with water. Alright. I think... need to add just a bit of glaze medium and mix some more, or just blend this dark gray into the black a little bit more before we start making it brighter. If anyone's wondering the status of the battle report, I've put about 10 hours of editing into it, and I still haven't finished going through the main like footage and cutting out all the like dead space. I'm being very merciless and cutting a lot of stuff, and even with cutting as much as I can, it's still like gonna be my longest video by far, it looks like. Burp too. But you know, it's exciting. I don't know if any of you read that wall of text post I made yesterday. I like briefly explained how it's an interesting challenge to edit. And it's also just interesting because it's a change from the like all the videos I've been doing for the last while have all been painting themed, so to do one that's not painting themed, it's, you know, it's always exciting to mix things up in general. We'll be going back to a painting video after the battle report though. The battle, spoiler alerts, the battle report's gonna have some burps in it, because I did in fact drink a carbonated beverage while playing Gamma Wolves, so. For you burp heads in the crowd, there you go. Yeah, don't be pouring any, I guess, yeah, you can use acetone to clean a wound, I guess, I don't know, I'm not a health professional. I just used the hydrogen peroxide that's in the medicine cabinet. Okay, that dark end of the gradient looks decent for now, so let's just carefully add a bit more of this. I don't know if I even said the name of this. Is medium sea gray, Vallejo model color. It's like a slightly warm gray. It's very close to neutral. Or like, it could be neutral. It might as well be, but I think it's just got a little bit of warm in it. Okay, let's just add the drop of glaze medium, then stir it up. 2 drops of glaze medium, actually. Looks like there's some stuff settled at the bottom of this. I'm gonna have to give it a good shake. Maybe store it upside down. It'll become more important as I get to the more delicate gradient work near the end. Getting a bit of gray paint splatter across the palette here. All right, let's see how this mix looks. I'll find a dry section. I don't know why I switched to this brush. I didn't need to do that. Okay, well, looks like the shade is good. I'll switch back to the bigger brush. I guess technically I could glaze without any glaze medium if I wanted to, but that sounds hard. Oh, we got some paint bleeding into the sponge, actually. I should try and wipe that up a bit. I'm sorry, it's not with the Army Painter wet palette. It's not called the sponge. It's called the Hydro Pack. Oh no, my Hydro Pack. It's not a big deal if it gets a little paint stain on it. But, you know, it's that thing where you get a new product and you want it to, like, remain pristine for a while. I'm just fixing the wrinkles in it now. Anyways. I know if you look at, like, the last time I watched a Miniac video, his palette was his palette sponge is also pretty stained. It's not a big deal if your palette isn't a pristine white. At least with my Privateer Press wet palette, it's just kind of a gray sponge, so it's a lot less noticeable. Do feel the need to blend in the edge of this a bit more. Yeah, that's gonna need some work when it dries, I think. Also, it's easy for me to forget that when the paint dries, it'll look a bit darker, so. You got thinner on an open melamine cut on your hand. Ouch. Yeah, that sounds a little painful there. I hope everyone gave you a pass on the swear jar on that one. As in, like, they understood your need to swear. I'm just assuming your workplace has a swear jar. I've never been to any workplace that has a swear jar. But I mean, I've had jobs before where if I swore on the job, I would get in trouble, I suppose. I'm sure, or I know there's plenty of jobs where you need to swear to fit in with the crew, or you need to have a bit of a potty mouth. Show you're down to earth, you know? I get my swearing in when I have those guest streams with Fiverr. It's fun to get a little bit of the pirate linguistics going on those streams. think I'm gonna move the camera a little closer. Hang on, everybody. There we go, it's not blocking my head. I don't know if it's an issue with the paint I'm having or just dust in my room or something in the palette. I'm taking, you know, my usual steps, air purifier, and just dusting the area and changing the water a lot, but it feels like I'm getting lots of floaties showing up in my water. But, I mean, with most of my projects, there's always some unwanted texture particles showing up somewhere, but usually it doesn't, or like if it, I can usually tell if it's something that's going to be distracting enough I need to fix. And a lot of the time the layers of paint just kind of cover it up naturally. Anyone watching been playing the new Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires? There is definitely a hair on the base. Let's get rid of that. Get out of here. Did I get it? No, it's still there. Jeez. You're stuck on there good, aren't you? Alright, these ones haven't been blended yet. You were going to bed. the census communes of painting with M3. M cubed. Is that my nickname? No problem, Nathaniel. Thanks for coming. And also thanks for coming, Scott Stoner. Do you want me to move the paint water cup closer to the microphone to pick up the brush swishes? I'm not sure how much it's picking it up from over where it is now. Oh yeah, Nathaniel, I've been observing you and Robert chatting about your custom kits in the chat. Hope you're having fun with those. It seems like you were. Burp 3. See, I just incorporated the burp into the burp count that time. It's an advanced meta technique. One of your dust collectors caught on fire. Oh wow, that sounds that sounds terrifying. A fireball? Damn. I would definitely have cursed in that situation. I think that's safe to say. I was debating adding a bit of black back to the palette to just tidy up the back end of the gradient a bit, but I'm going to be doing another pass for sure, so no need for that yet. Yeah, I need to shake this glaze medium a lot better. Just bear with me as I shake weight this paint. Census communes is why people laugh harder at movie theaters. Oh, share feeling. I get you. I get you. Sounds cool, Nathaniel. Best of luck to you too, making the visions, or executing the visions and making them reality. Okay, the glazed medium looks more proper now. It looked too translucent before. It wasn't mixed well enough. Just gonna keep storing it upside down for now. And yeah, I believe it's appropriate to mix in some more of that neutral gray. I know mixing gray on the palette isn't as exciting as the other colors, but you know, mix and paint is mix and paint at the end of the day. It's always, I always have fun with it. I'm assuming most people do. It's one of those simple joys in life. It's just mixing paint. I was talking about the video game Total War Warhammer earlier, but Gundam game did come out this week. If I wasn't living so frugally, I would have bought it, but right now I gotta wait till it's on sale, and that's a SD... Oh geez, why can't I even remember? It's like a Gundam SD action RPG game. This is bugging me. Let me open the Steam app on my phone so I can like remember what the name is, because it looks like a pretty cool game, because you like play a mobile suit and you like play in an episode of like a story that takes place in a Gundam series, and there's like some multiverse action going on where like, I think I might be remembering it wrong, but like you could play as the Goof but like replay a mission that takes place in the Iron-Blooded Orphans storyline, stuff like that. Okay, I'm looking at my wish list. Oh, SD Gundam Battle Alliance. I can't afford to buy it at full price though. I gotta wait for it to go on sale. I'm more so excited for Gundam Evolution, that like team shooter, and Battle Operation, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2, which is a game that's out on PlayStation for a while, but it's being ported to Steam eventually. So it's like, I've been wanting to get some more Gundam gaming in on the PC, but all the games I've been waiting, I've just kind of been waiting for them to actually release on the platform. Not that I should be spending much time playing video games anyways. I let myself have the Total War, because, you know, you gotta have some R&R time. And that's mostly it these days. Oh yeah, the local store probably has some Vallejo paint. In a set, perhaps. If not, I have never used Reaper paints, but I know they have some like pretty decent beginner paint sets. Man, I'm sure you could have a great time with any beginner paint set. The point is to just like, to just do it and just start experimenting, you know, the usual advice. And yeah, I always try to support the local hobby stores, even if you can get it cheaper on Amazon. A good local hobby store is a blessing. And a privilege, I should say. Yes, and I don't know if you're seeing some of these particles that are showing up in this paint. This is probably a little too thin, to be fair. Yeah, let's just mix more of this gray in. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta order from Amazon if you gotta. I've done it before. Oh, right, I said I was gonna add more of this gray. We need more pigments in this mix. This is the middle part of the gradient, so it looks like we need to make the middle section of the gradient wider. The dark is stretching up too far at this point. That's how it's looking to me. Like, this blend is looking pretty solid, but I think we just need more of, like, the middle gray tone in the middle part. Interesting. Alright, we don't want to feather it out this way as much. We more want to feather it out this way. Oh no, we're retreating back into the hot garbage zone. What is the best master grade Gundam? I can't answer that. The best master grade Gundam. Or that's like a subjective question, I suppose. I haven't built enough master grades to answer it, is what I'm mostly feeling in response to your question. I mean, the best one I've built was probably the Barbatos. But I know if I declared that to be the best master grade, some people would disagree. Some people would agree, though. I'm trying to remember what the latest master grade that came out was. Sometimes I would maybe just default to like, oh, whatever the most recent master grade came out is probably the one with like the most impressive engineering, possibly. Was the last master grade the Virtue? Perhaps? It depends on, like, if you're thinking like best design, best build, best value. No matter the grade, the answer is Barbatos. I mean, I am a self-declared Barbatos simp, so I'm inclined to agree with you there. Barbatos. Burp 4. Yeah, you can kind of see in, like, this area there's some unwanted fibers, and I'm also pulling up the paint with my brush there awkwardly. So we'll just have to go back over this area with some less thinned paint. Maybe that's what I'll do once I use up the paint that's currently on the palette. I'll just go back to my medium sea gray, just pure, and just kind of reinforce the middle gradient a bit more across everything. This base is clearly different from the ones I've been doing this year, so it's an experiment, like many projects. You know, I do love painting those turquoise bases my Gamma Wolves ones are on, but for this commission I thought I'd try something else. And at the end of the day, if the focus is on the mobile suit, like, you're not gonna be looking at the base straight on like this that often. You're gonna be looking at the Sazabi that's standing on the base. Yeah, that's what I thought. The Virtue Nadlight is the most current one. Yeah, the high resolution Barbatos, I hear that one's a little frustrating. Have I ever painted Battletech miniatures? No, I have not. If I'm gonna paint something at that scale, I don't know if I'd want to paint a Battletech mech, but I mean, if someone commissioned me to do a Battletech mini, I would definitely be able to paint those. It's definitely up my alley. It's just, it's mecha, but smaller, so. It's what I've been getting a lot of experience painting this year and last year. Like, I think the game's called Steel Rift. The head of the Brush Coven, Teal Sekire, he streams on Twitch. I watched him paint some Steel Rift minis there the other day, and they're like, I think it's the same scale. They're designed for, or the game Steel Rift is another game by Ash Barker, so it's a miniatures agnostic game, but this guy he works with a lot, called, his company's called Death Ray Designs, has these like 3D printed like tanks and mech models he sells for Steel Rift. But I think like Steel Rift is a game that you could like, it was probably designed in mind partly to use Battletech minis like as a reference point for the scale. Barbatos Full Moon. Oh yes, I remember that one. Ooh, finding a Moon Gundam for the cheap, that sounds like a challenge. I always hear people raving about that one. The shifter effect is pretty good. This is actually like a mix, or it's like one layer of the Vallejo shifter, and then I brush painted on some Turbo Dork shifter, and then I put some of the thinned Vallejo shifter back over, just like almost like a wash for a pretty subtle effect. Okay, yeah, now that this gray is drying, it's weird. This gray almost looks like warmer when it's put on wet, and then when it dries, it's like basically a neutral gray. It's a fairly new gray for me. I think I got it, like I had a different, like actual neutral gray that I was using most of the time, but then that ran out, and I guess at that point I did, like, the store was out of the replacement of that one, so I just bought the next closest gray. Let's just give that some time to dry. Yeah, see, I wonder, like, it kind of looks like there's some text, like fiber texture coming from here. Maybe I'm using the paper too much. Maybe it's just the water. I do use filtered water. You want to start painting a bunch of your kits, but you're too worried about messing them up. Warlorate Gamer? Is that how you say your name? Warlorate? Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to, like, take that first step. And yeah, I won't lie to you, there's definitely possibilities you can ruin kits when you do paint, but it's like Goobertown Hobbies, or it's like what Goobertown Hobbies and Casey from eBay Miniature Rescues say. You gotta just paint bravely. But I mean, it's all about your personal enjoyment of the hobby, right? If you don't want to paint, you don't have to paint. The kits are designed pretty well to look decent when they're not painted, so You just gotta take baby steps. There's a lot of cheap miniatures on the market that are good to just like get the feel of painting on. Yeah, I get what you mean, Nathaniel. If you want it just for that one piece, it's a little painful to have to buy the whole kit just to get that one piece, especially if you're on a budget. Okay, I'm gonna thin this just with a bit of water. And I put possibly too much on the palette, but you know, we can just keep using it for mixing, so it's fine. Burp 4, I believe. I believe my burp record is 6. I don't know if one single can of Conk Zero can ever get me to 7 burps. It would have to be very deliberate. Like I'd have to manage my, or it would involve some burp resource management to get 7 burps out of a can. Sometimes you have to run before you can walk. Yeah, I mean, if you run and you fall down and trip, that's one way to learn. Get back up again. Or that's definitely a faster way to learn than to walk. I don't know, I've lost this analogy in my head now. Excuse me. Okay. So now we really just want to find the middle part of the gradient almost and just draw the dividing line. It's gonna look, you know, I'm kind of just giving myself more blending work to do, but I gotta define this now. And if we can get it looking decently smooth in this one part at least, that'd be good. Yeah, so you can see how different that looks now. Let's see how different it looks when it dries. And yeah, depending on which tile I'm painting here, you can see there's varying levels of how much my initial blocking is gonna have to be changed. By initial blocking, I mean like the stuff I did before the stream. And these will be edge highlight, or like there will be some sort of border painted around the edge. I'm just got finished, you know, it's just like with the turquoise bases, I got finished blocking out, or finish the gradient work first, and then I like to do the rest. Oh, last weekend I finally saw the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Managed to see it in a local theater, which was great. Highly recommend that movie. For that price, you get any real grade, and you bump it up, you can get the real grade TV Wing Gundam, and $5 more after that, you get the real grade Unicorn. Plenty of fun options there. Rhetoric and discourse. Your painting style inspired me to use it with some Gaslands cars. Cool. Glad I could inspire you. So you're painting some like really vibrant Gaslands cars? Are they like standing out from all the weathered post-apocalyptic Hot Wheels? Or are you gonna like make them all vibrant to edge highlight them and then weather the crap out of them? I'm curious. Yeah, you can see how much different the gray looks when it starts to dry if you look at like the borders or even look at this section here. Did we come up, or did any of you help me come up with a name for the Sazabi last stream or the stream before? I think probably the subject was probably brought up, and I was probably like, I don't know, it's a commission, so I feel like the person paying for the commission gets to name it. There might have been some names thrown out, or thrown around anyways, though. Suppose I should ask the person commissioning when it's closer to being done if they want me to name it, or if they're okay with me giving it a name. Maybe one will come to me. No weathering, they just get to stand out. Nice. That's like my the way my Gamma Wolves are in the post-apocalyptic setting. They're just very clean and vibrant, standing amongst this old weathered sci-fi terrain. The age kits are pretty cool, Nathaniel. I know the one I painted in like the traditional Gunpla style, but would I have painted it in Model Mayhem style, there would have been plenty of fun edges to highlight. And that Gundam Age Kitbash is for sale, actually. Check out my Instagram highlights. I need to make room on my shelf. I don't think I have room in the apartment to fit another glass cabinet in there. I mean, I suppose I could probably Tetris the apartment a bit more to fit more in, but I also need to make a living, you know? I'm seeing this gray base kind of as like fake practice for doing non-metallic metal silver. If I was like trying to paint this to look like non-metallic metal silver, like straight on, like accurately pure, I would look a little different, I suppose, but kind of see this as a warm-up. Yeah, it's still up for sale. It's a mod I've been planning on putting up for sale for a while. I just, you know, I've still a one-person team. I can only get things done so fast. Okay, so now the question is, I still like the dark end of the gradient is still totally fine how it is. Well, before we go back to the dark, let's work up. Yeah. I think, yeah, this gray, you can see here it's like it should get brighter at this section, but it's not. It's getting darker. So I think we're just going to keep using the pure gray a bit and just make it go up a little bit higher, and then we'll start mixing the white in. Or better yet, maybe I can just be mindful of where I put things on the palette and I can do both colors at once. The one thing I don't like about this white is there's always like, you know, the drippy bits after if I don't like wipe it up after every time I open and close it. See, and then I got paint on my hands. If I don't wipe it up every time, it gets like clogged. But you know, that's just a mild annoyance. Okay, this brush. The Nightmare and the Archangels are your kits, Cyber Scorpio. Did you come up with any possible names for the Sazabi? Where me and Nathaniel were trying to remember. Yeah, Nathaniel, I only talk about prices for the model kit sales and commissions and like private messages. So if you want to discuss that, you can send me a private message. And the price I set is like the price of the kit. The buyer pays shipping, because the price of shipping can fluctuate wildly depending on, you know, if it has to go overseas or not. It's the usual stuff. Yeah, I guess it's hard to on this off-white palette, mixing this white and gray paint's kind of hard to see. Yeah, I can't answer your question about the post, Nathaniel, if it's, or the buyer pays shipping. That's the answer. That's a negative Ghost Rider. What's my opinion on dual wielding? Like in general, I think dual wielding's cool. I think like if I'm building, you know, a D&D character or character in a video game, I'm usually more of a person to like wield a two-handed weapon, like a great sword or a maul. I'm usually like more of a fan of that than dual wielding, but I still think dual wielding's pretty cool. Were you referring to like dual wielding in a specific game or just in general? I guess there's two different mechs on my Gamma Wolves team that dual wield. The Buster's got like his dual energy blades, and so does the Wing Zero. Burp 5. Alright, let's see how this lighter shade looks here. I need to clean up this little area here. It's that'll look... Yeah, I don't want to touch it too much because I might... Yeah, I think we just have to let this dry. If I try and fix it now, I might tear up the paint before it dries. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Okay, let's see. Shade's good, but not the consistency of the paint. I'm just kind of wiping it up a bit now. Not quite there. Let's just use my finger. What am I missing? Yes, I also have several work in progress at all times of my life. I have the ADHD kicks in with the projects like that sometimes, you know? Okay, this paint consistency is not quite right. You take a different approach. Need to just mix more of this white in. Less glaze medium, more pigment. Let's work from the top down. Assuming this is where the top of the gradient's gonna be, the very top of the gradient maybe we'll get a bit whiter. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. Thank you all for being here with me as I experiment through trial and error. Okay, I got some pretty bright gray on there right now. I wonder if I can add a slightly darker gray while it's wet. Do a little wet blendy. Maybe. Not bad, not bad. Just need to blend those two together a bit more. Go back to the white. Okay, I think we gotta let that dry. We'll come back to that. Let's see if we can salvage this area I attempted to paint a moment ago. Always lots of back and forth with this glazing. Try burning with the wing. That sounds cool. Yes, give me those smoother results. That's what I'm talking about. And we just gotta hope it dries fairly evenly. Are you gonna be sending Robert that Kitbash, or is that a Kitbash you're doing with Robert helping you with the ideas, Nathaniel? Yeah, you can see here the way it's like drying with the brush strokes is a little funky, but you know, it's just still gonna be multiple passes of glaze, and it's all good. I suppose I could have just focused on nailing the gradient on this tiny triangle here so that I have like a reference point for all the other triangles. I'll have to keep that in mind as I keep going here. Ooh, a stop motion battle. Undecided Liam? What do you mean by that? Or are you just adding my name to the end to get my attention? I watched a really good stop motion War Machine battle report the other day. Had lots of fun, charming sound effects. I mean, you can use like really basic free editing software for stop motion stuff if you want. It just means you have to do more work in camera, I suppose. I don't know, I've used like Adobe Premiere Pro for so many years at this point. I don't even know what the good like free options are. And sometimes like Premiere Pro isn't even the best option. It's just what I'm used to. Oh, undecided, I see. That's what was undecided. Gotcha. Yeah, doing the gradient work with these grays is definitely harder than it is with the turquoise ones. And sometimes I wonder if that's because the turquoise gradient was P3 paints, and they're just better for that kind of stuff, perhaps. P3 paints are just pretty good in general. I like them. I like Vallejo too. But a lot of time it feels like that's just because they have like a really extensive range and like the good dropper bottles. I don't like the paint pots that P3 comes in. The voice actors. Well, that would mean you could get away with adding less sound effects. Adding voice actors would be more work, but the silver lining is there would be more. You wouldn't have to rely as much on sound effects to fill all the dead space in the audio. Running a bit low. Probably go back to the dark side of the gradient after the current paint on the palette runs out. Backup P2 character, is that Persona 2? I feel like I remember this game you were talking about last stream, but I can't remember what exactly it was. Nathaniel, there's probably a free software out there for you that'll get the job done, at least for when you're dipping your toes in. There's probably something out there that'll work for you, depending on what you're looking to do. Yeah, adding in this brighter side of the gradient really destroyed all the nice smoothness I had before, but it's fine. Smoothness comes later. No point in getting it all smooth if I have to change the way the gradient looks after. You know, like with all this, it starts to look better when it's dried, but you know, oh, Pathfinder, okay. Pathfinder 2nd edition, not Persona 2, gotcha. Oh yes, I remember that character you're talking about now. Oh, I'm glad your brother will help you then. Video editing definitely gets easier when your computer is a bit of a workhorse. I mean, depending on how fancy you get with the stop motion, the load on the PC isn't too bad, because you're dealing with a bunch of still images rather than like big chunky video files. But again, it depends on what exactly you're doing with the edit. If you layer a bunch of different effects on top of each other and have a bunch of different frames, you know, that still requires a decent amount of power. I don't have like a extremely fancy custom PC or anything. And I can still run, you know, Total War, Warhammer 3, the essentials. Yeah, this looks a lot better once it's dry. Just gotta trust the process, as they say. Had someone tell me before that they like seeing the brush strokes like in the finished product, so I suppose there's some merit to that. Or like in general, if you're looking at painters you admire on Instagram or whatever, I encourage you to zoom in on the work, because a lot of time if you zoom in on really smooth looking non-metallic metal, you know, you can zoom in and see those brush strokes sometimes, and sometimes it can look real nice. Okay, sorry, I blocked the camera with my head there. I was just checking to see if the paint's more or less used up. Okay, we're gonna go back to the dark end of the gradient now. We're all out of drink. Probably use up the rest of this matte black by the time this project's done. Or maybe halfway through the project. So you're also looking for a victory Gundam, Nathaniel? Victory parts missing from both kits. Oh, I see, you're describing what the animation is gonna do. Gotcha. Shrekus McChekus, hello. Welcome, thanks for coming. Is it, no, Shrekus McChekus. I'll assume that's how it's pronounced. That's totally your real name, right? Just like my real name's Millennial Model Mayhem. Getting a little clogged on the tip here. Don't want to have a paint explosion on our hands. Totally, yep. Alright, let's see if I eyeballed my ratio of black and gray properly here. I mean, not that there is like a proper... Just need to... Oh, we're getting a bit of paint splatter on the palette. That's not good. Transforming Outhouse Shrek Transformers crossover figure called Shrekus. That'd be great. I like this idea. Have I seen the new neon panel liners? Not by Bandai, by like Tamiya. I haven't seen any neon panel liners. I have. There's like these panel liners. Do they make neon versions of these? I've got the standard brown, gray, and black ones. They all also need to be mixed very well. I haven't used them in a while, so. When in doubt, paperclip, yep. Okay, I think I could use probably one more drop of glaze medium here. past an hour already. Good, good. I'd like to at least get to 3 hours tonight. So far it seems like usually like normal stream 3 hours is my average length. Guest streams closer to 2 hours. Okay, well let's do what I was talking about before and start with the smallest triangle. That's not bad. I think that'll work. Yeah. Let's just focus on doing a stripe of this now, and then we'll add even more glaze medium. Get that blended up real nice. Okay, we did that one. We'll go on to here. I feel like one of my core millennial memories is getting to see Shrek in theaters in 2001. I feel like that's very quintessentially millennial. Oh, fluorescent green markers. Got a real grade unicorn being the Banshee. I do. Between the Banshee and the unicorn, I do think the Banshee looks cooler. Color scheme and design wise. Well, no, they're not that different, but. Question is, after this, do I go up or down the gradient? I think I need to go down just a little bit darker to blend in this new section a bit, but not, we just need to add like just a tiny bit of black. Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera with my head there. My bad. And painting the darker side of the gradient feels a lot better than painting the bright side already. It just shows how, it's like there's a reason everyone always says white's a hard color to paint. Or just brighter colors are just hard to paint sometimes. That's why they always have such a commanding presence on the table when you whip out like a bright pink or yellow or white army. Everyone's like, whoa, check it out, they painted so much white. Well, they'll assume you painted so much white. I know some people do, you know, hire commission painters to paint their armies. Not everyone can pull off painting a whole army, which is fair. Gotta have some work for the commission army painters. Alright, let's add that bit of black now. Yeah, the real grade Shinanju. I've been tempted to pick up the Master Grade Shinanju a couple times because I think it's a really cool design, but it's just been, I just can't. For the amount of stuff in my backlog right now, I can't justify buying it, you know? The Shinanju is a very nice design, I appreciate it. Yeah, Zach Aurelius did do a video that was basically like, yeah, he builds the real grade Shinanju and investigates whether, like, is it as bad as everyone says it is? And, yeah, I mean, the reality is with most kits that are, like, quote-unquote bad or hand grenades or whatever, it's like usually with just a couple basic fixes, you can make it totally acceptable to use. You know, it's just the typical internet stuff. People like to be hyperbolic about things. And when you're more negative or hyperbolic about things, it gets more views and engagement, so... Fiverr, what's up? Hope you didn't mind my cheeky post in your Discord where I was like, I know you're streaming right now, but I'm also streaming, but don't stop watching Fiverr stream. Are you still streaming and just chatting in my stream at the same time? No, you're probably done. Now that I look at the clock. How was your stream? Yeah, I believe Fiverr, you were working on your Tau tonight, is that correct? Done any more work on your Gushin? You called it out. Oh no, what did you say? Like, your Discord's the only Discord or it's like the Discord I can be the most sassy in, I feel like. Oh, thanks, Fiverr. A master grade Graze would be amazing. My palette's doing that thing where I'm getting bleed onto the hydro pack. Oh no. Anyways, back to this dark gray. And let's start at the smallest triangle. It's a safe space for sass? Yeah, I figured. I read the room. Yeah, I think Fiverr with 2 R's is the website Fiverr. For anyone who doesn't know, Fiverr is... we've done 2 guest streams together now. Plan out scheduling another one whenever my battle report's finished. First stream, I convinced them to check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and then second stream got all the unhinged rants about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was good. Okay. I don't know if this gray is dark enough, actually. Now that I'm looking at the black areas more... Okay, yeah, we're just gonna add a little bit more black and a little bit more glazed medium, and then I think we'll get to where we need to go. Do not skip JoJo parts. Yes, I told them, don't worry. Yeah, see what you see, you could see why I warned you about season 3. Now Fiverr. Don't worry, it's worth, trust me, it's worth getting through the slog. It's worth it. And, you know, don't feel bad if the cast in Season 3 isn't your favorite either. Jotaro isn't my favorite JoJo. Okay, we need... I think I have a bigger brush just to... Need to do a bit of wet palette maintenance here. Hello, Robert Westfall. That's alright. I'm sure you understand, Robert. No need to apologize anymore. Next time you get to pick the anime. I mean, don't let the experience of season 3 ruin your enjoyment of the past 2 parts. All the problem with part 3 is all the good Dio action is like at the back end. Come on, there's got to be some paint left. There we go. Nathaniel, you gotta start part 4. I liked part 4 way more than part 3. Part 3 has lots of good meme moments, but like part 4 is just a really good part all over. Part 4 also has a lot of good meme moments. But yeah, part 4 of JoJo is probably my favorite part. And Fiverr, you went so hard on you finished part 1 and 2 of JoJo so fast, like, you know, it's okay to take a break on part 3, you can come back to it in a week or so. But, you know, there is also merit to just, like, slogging through it all and getting it over with. Yeah, and there's so many episodes, it's like part 3 of this, or like at the end of part 1, this 3-part episode, the fight's just getting started, and then like all of part 2 is the fight, and then part 3 is like the last gotcha of the fight, and that's over. Killer Queen, yep. Yeah, Netflix is weird about the way they have the anime laid out sometimes. I don't always understand it. Whoops, that's not the gray we need. I'm getting distracted. Fiverr enters the chat to get everything gets derailed by JoJo. It's what I like for my streams. That's meant to be a compliment, Fiverr. I hope you understand. And that last guest stream, I forgot to mention, we also did get to hear Fiverr's story, or get a little rant from Fiverr that I was totally expecting about how much better value the plastic is when it comes to buying Gunpla when you compare it to buying Warhammer. It's just a natural part of the hobby crossover journey. Being good at talking is a valuable skill. I feel like both of our guest streams went well just because our conversational skills vibe well together. Eventually, when I get a different guest on for a guest stream, sometimes it'll be fun to compare the energy of the different guest streams. But, you know, if I invite someone else on for a guest stream, that doesn't mean you won't get to come back on Fiverr, so hope you don't get too jealous. Oh yeah, Lego kind of has this feel. The pricing of Lego has Warhammer vibes, is what I'm trying to say. That's right, we do have good banter. Okay, let's start moving up the gradient. More glaze medium. Let's just tidy up this palette a bit more first. You watch the entire heads, buy yourself something else. Like what? My wet palette's just like messy soup now. Yeah, that's fair, Nathaniel. When I started streaming, it's like been a skill I've had to hone to like be able to just talk into the void while painting. But I mean, I guess I'd done like hobby hangs with friends before IRL, so I suppose I like knew that I would be able to paint and talk at the same time, but I know not everyone can do that. Yeah, comparing Warhammer mechs to Gunpla mechs, model-wise, or model kit wise, is a bit of a bummer sometimes. I suppose the details on Warhammer kits can get like a little more complex or crispy compared to Gundam, but yeah, that's about the gray I'm looking for. That's the Goldilocks gray in this moment. That tile doesn't need as much. Oh, Fiverr, I watched those Jacob Geller videos. I forgot to bring it up last stream. I was too distracted by the JoJo talk, but I did watch those Jacob Geller videos you recommended to me, and they were good, so thanks for the recommendation. So you better have watched that 6-hour gaming video game review I sent you. I'm pretty sure I sent you that Tim Rogers 6-hour Tokimeki Memorial review. I can't remember now. That's true. Dio's dad did say that, Sazabi. Your friends skipped to the end of part 1. How dare you? That was a very JoJo move, Nathaniel. Season 5 is pretty weird in general, but that's what makes it good. Well, all of JoJo's weird. What am I even talking about? Bucciarati. Bruno Bucciarati. Wargaming minis are closer to proper scale models with construction difficulty. Yeah, I can't remember what I sent you now, Fiverr. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I enjoyed them. And I think I watched a couple more of his too. Yeah, the one about Shadow of the Colossus in particular. That's the game I own Shadow of the Colossus for my PS2, but I never got past the 4th Colossus. I don't know. I'm like, I love me some video games, but I'm kind of like, there's a very small selection of video games that I like have played to completion. I kind of just stick to certain games, and like a lot of games I recognize are very good. I usually just appreciate them from a distance, you know, like all the Dark Souls games, Elden Ring, the FromSoft games, I should say. I really appreciate those games from a distance, but don't really play them. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could like get really into them and go deep, but then I would paint less, and that's not what I should be doing currently. I'm very, very hype for Darktide, this game from the developers Fat Shark. It's coming out in the fall. It's like if anyone knows Vermintide or Vermintide 2, Darktide is done by the same studio, and it's just 40k, but it's gonna have customizable characters. It's gonna be great. And they delayed the release of the game, which is what I like to hear, because that means they're not gonna like release a buggy game. Yeah, I hear that about Elden Ring. Yeah, Bloodborne. Really, really cool game. I watched my friend play a lot of that one. Yeah, the Shadow of the Colossus one was very emotional. Yeah, the real grade Gao Gai Gao looks pretty cool. Yeah, I lost the game too, Robert. Yeah, Shadow the Colossus, that's like I only got as far as I did in Shadow of the Colossus by reading online guides, because it's, you know, it's just one of those games. It doesn't like hold your hand, which is part of the appeal. Whoop. This paint needs to be paper clipped. Or the nozzle needs to be paper clipped. Yeah, I don't know, Fiverr. You sure identify with Dio a lot. Isn't that kind of a red flag? I'm just teasing. It's fine to be into Dio. Lots of people are into Dio, okay? Yeah, I lost the game constantly in junior high. That's where I remember it from. Yeah, I suppose I can. I brought up that identify word myself. My word's not yours. My bad. Grazes are good. Kono Dioda. All right, on to the next shade of gray. Looking good so far. Maybe a little too bright though. There's random hair stuck in my brush there. Dio Brando Gundam when? Ah, jeez. If I'm gonna make a JoJo custom Gunpla, I don't know if it would be Dio themed. It would probably be themed after a side character I enjoy. Also, the JoJo character designs are so intense. It's like, that'll be an intimidating custom project to do. Yeah, I wonder what... Yeah, if I did a JoJo themed Gundam, custom Gundam, it would probably be themed from a character in part 4. But admittedly, I've never thought of a JoJo custom until now. Alright, good luck at your football game. Carl Salvador, hello. It's not glitter, it's shifter paint. Hold it a bit closer to the camera here. It's two different kinds of shifter paint. It's showing up well on the camera, it seems. I have the shifter paints here, actually. I can just show you. The first layer is Violet Old Copper Vallejo. And then I paint, so that was airbrush, and then I painted on some Forest Flux just with a brush. And then I thinned down some of this a lot and kind of just did one more pass of a wash over just because I didn't want this to be too powerful. Yeah, good idea, Shrekus. G40. I think I have the G40 actually. Yeah, the real grade Gundam. The real grade Gundam is one of the few Gunplas that could pull off some JoJo poses. That kit looks so posable that I almost don't, or like I kind of don't want to paint it. Or if I do, only do a partial painting because like to pull off those real zany poses, like I don't want to be constantly chipping my own paint, you know? I do have that pre-order in for that kit though, so don't know when I'll be customizing it, but when my local retailer gets it, I'll be purchasing one. Because the God Gundam is a good Gundam design. And I slept on G Gundam for too long. You'd probably enjoy the designs in G Gundam a lot, Fiverr. There's the iconic Tequila Gundam. There's like a lumberjack themed Canadian Gundam. Oh, this gradient feels like it's coming together now. Oh, hello, Lobster. You give your cat some scritches for me. Fiverr, I meant to say that earlier. Yeah, I believe the real great God Gundam can stand on one hand. Yeah. Yeah, the Windmill Gundam Fiverr, that's from G Gundam. If you wanna see some entertaining mech designs, or I have a little like G Gundam book that I flipped through in a stream once. It shows off all the... I don't want to lose my painting train right now, so I'm not gonna go get it. But maybe remind me next guest stream I can break it out. I know you'll get a kick out of it. Alright, thanks for the tip, Shrekus. I'm pretty excited for the new Witch from Mercury Gundam, Robert. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it when it comes out. Mobile Suit Moomin House. Yeah, that's fair, Nathaniel. Yeah, the Zero Gravity Judge seems kind of hard to find in general from what I've heard. Yeah, this gradient here, I don't even know what that needs. This like one that, I mean, other than the top here need to be filled out a bit. It's like, it could be evened out a little bit in the middle, but I don't want to... Okay, let's just get a little... going here, yeah, that's the right shade. Yeah, and the Zero Gravity Judge requires, or it's like not as easy to build because it's not a Bandai kit. So I got put in a bit more elbow grease. Important to take that into consideration. Someone in your chat was talking about Gunpla forever ago and had the silliest name. I was like, oh, the Gelgoog? It was probably the Gelgoog. Yeah, the Gelgoog is like one of the main antagonists of like the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Like the Gelgoog is like the second suit he pilots. Char Aznable, yeah. I have a Gelgoog. I have the base Gelgoog high grade on my shelf. It's not painted or anything. And I have a variant Gelgoog that's like in the box still in my backlog. Yeah, I want to talk to whoever came up with a name for the Gelgoog and, you know, just shake their hand. Oh, interesting, Axel. Yeah, Gelgoog. Yeah, I believe the Japanese characters pronounce it like Gerugugu. Master Grade EX Unicorn, yeah, that's one you gotta save up for. Gelgoog. I mean, Gelgoog, there's a suit you'll enjoy, Fiverr, called the Big Zam. There's one I really want. It's like an aquatic mobile suit called the Zoc. Blue Parappa has the Gog, you know, the iconic Gog. In my backlog, I have one called the High Gog, like HY-Gog. And it's like, it got very long, like, floppy arms. It's hilarious. Love that stuff. I'm so glad I can introduce you to the wacky world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Mobile Suit Gundam naming conventions. Well, and even the names of like the non-mobile suits, like the names of the characters in Gundam can get pretty entertaining too. Like in Hathaway's Flash, there's a character who's Ace Pilot Lane Aim. Big Zam, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the O. It's just a shape. Oh, glad you're winning, Robert. Yeah, chat, what are some other ridiculous Gunpla or Gundam names you can think of? Oh, there's a Federation mobile suit called the Gustav Karl. That's a good one. It doesn't like look as entertaining as something like the Big Zam, but it's got a very classy name. That dark gradient's looking pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm really trying to remember what other ridiculous Gundam names they are. I mean, Gelgoog is probably one of the more out there ones. Alright, I think we gotta start working up to some brighter parts of the gradient now. Let's just contain the dark paint that's on here. Save it for an emergency. Yeah, of course the goof. That's a classic one. All right, enough goofing around, people. Yeah, I mean, Warhammer games can get pretty goofy as well, but they don't, like, sound goofy the way Gundam gets. Warhammer's, like, names for their models can get goofy in the sense it's like Slaughter Priest with Gore Blade and Hacksaw. Let's get some... The Supernova Death Scythe. I don't know if I know that one. Zucchini Nikini. Oh, character from G-Reco. I haven't seen that one. Schweiz Ganier. Harududu from Hazel. Oh, gotcha, Robert. Oh, there are some pretty fun names for the lizardmen characters in Warhammer Fantasy, actually. Like, the character Skink Chief, who's like the pro, like, pterodon rider one, is called Tic-Tac-Toe, Master of Skies. I mean, Rambo Ral pilots the goof, but he's not goofy. Rambo Ral is total babe. Yeah, there's Tic-Tac-Toe, Master of Skies, and his pet pterodon, or his mount pterodon that he rides, is named Zwup, like Z-W-U-P. And there's also a character in the Lizardmen called, what's his name? And there's one called Teto Echo, but that one's not like as much of a pun. There's a character who's like a mummified, like ancient, like Slan Mage Priest, the like frog wizards that sit on the floating chairs. And his name's Lord Croak. Some people pronounce it Lord Croak, but you know, Lord Croak is more entertaining to say, obviously. And of course, there's a when you buy the Pterodon, like, model set, like the Pterodon box, you can, the alternate models you can build them as are called Ripperdactyls. So I always thought that was fun. So there are some decent, like, punny names in Lizardmen. Chat, you can let me know if there's any other goofy Warhammer names I'm not thinking of. BRB. Yeah, I knew you'd appreciate that, Fiverr. Oh, I see. So you... Nathaniel's Kitbash was named by you, Robert. And then... It's your collab project. Gianco. That's a mobile suit, I take it, Shrekus? The bug-inspired mobile suits from Victory, the Gundam Hunter. I don't think so. Oh yes, of course, I actually can't forget Biscuit, Cookie, and Cracker. Those are some good names. Yeah, how could I forget those ones? Jeez. Gonna do a little cheeky wet blend here. There we go. Now we can blend that a bit more. Oh, sorry, I had to concentrate hard on that blend there. Will be in your next D&D campaign. Like, that's the character you're gonna play? Tic-Tac-Toe, Master of Skies? You're gonna ask your DM for permission if you can have a pterodactyl that you can just ride around. Code Geass. Yeah, that's I'm not a huge fan of the season 1 mech designs just because I find that like the rollerblading Code Geass mechs are a little like, I'm just not the biggest fan of them, but I do really like the designs in the second season. Like the mech that, well, I mean, I do still like the designs in the first season are still good. It's just like once you know what the designs look like in the second season, it's hard to forget. Yeah, what's the name? The Gurren? Is that the name of the mech that Colin Kosuke pilots? I really like the design of that one. Too bad there aren't more Code Geass model kits. Too hard on the bright colors here. Gotta add more dark. I find Code Geass isn't a show you watch for the mech action as much as like just the whole experience. The whole wacky experience. All that Pizza Hut sponsorship, am I right? Yeah, you haven't, yeah, I'm sure Fiverr you can find some, like, clips on YouTube of the rollerblading mechs if you just, like, look up Code Geass, like, yeah, Shrekus spelled it, or if you scroll up in the chat, it's like Geass. It's a mecha anime from mid-2000s. It's got some pretty interesting designs, and yeah, they have these weird kind of rollerblade attachments on their feet that don't like really make any sense when you think about it, but you know, it's that classic dilemma, like, oh, well, if mechs were real or if Godzilla were real, like they would immediately collapse under their own weight. You know, most of us are aware of this. It's like, yes, these machines could not exist in real life, but you know, we're not watching this show for the realism, you know? We're watching it because it's cool to see the big mechs zoom around and shoot and punch each other and stuff, and have sword fights and rollerblade. Well, Sazabi, yeah, I guess you can find a character in a game that has the same weapon loadout as whatever your custom has. Maybe that could help get you started on some name inspirations. Oh, we just hit the 2-hour mark, people. I haven't seen the side story ones. Evangelion, yeah, my favorite mech that has guts is definitely Ava Unit 1. Two beam sabers and one GN3 sword, and one of the swords is on his hip. 4 swords then. No, it's not a Pizza Hut custom Gundam Fiverr. It's yeah, no, you're misunderstanding Fiverr. It's the show Code Geass has a lot of like scenes where like in the background of a room there'll be like boxes of Pizza Hut, or like so a scene will start, a character will enter, and like another character is just eating pizza, like, and it's like they've animated like the cheese stuffed crust from Pizza Hut. So Yeah, when I say the Pizza Hut sponsorship, there's just like a lot of really out of place. Like every time the characters are or not every time, but like a lot of the times when the characters are eating meals in Code Geass, it's Pizza Hut, and it's a big meme. Jesse, I'm excited for the it's that I can't remember the name of it. It's from the Witch from Mercury, and it's got like the kind of stag beetle like helmet with like the fancy top knot plume. It's like big and chunky and magenta, or like pink. Yeah, the Eureka 7 mech designs are also good if you want a surfboarding mech. Okay, let's get a bit more glaze medium on there. Yeah, Fiverr, I have a fun food themed painting project that I might do coming up, but I can't tell anyone about it yet because I need to like get my battle report done first. But I may possibly reach out to you for consulting at some point about that. It's okay, Nathaniel, this is a weeb safe space. You're among fellow weebs here, at least with me. It's been a while since I've had Pizza Hut, but I think I've had Domino's more times in my life than Pizza Hut. Okay, I need to just really pay attention to my dark gradients now and just try and like get those done and just focus purely on the lighter gradients. Hopefully this hasn't gotten too dull for everyone, me just painting gray the entire time. I feel like the chat's had, or we've had some solid back and forth going with the chat, you know, with all the talk of silly Gundam names and all that business. Damn, I messed up the progress I had before. I should have just left it. We'll come back to that. Yes, that's right, Fiverr. It's all I can give you is a T. That's all I can give you right now, so I gotta be a tease. It's not gonna happen for a while yet. Okay, that black gradient looks good. That one, could just use a tiny bit of blending on that one, I think. Yeah. No, too bright, too bright. Glad I can count on you, Fiverr. Oh, I missed some messages here. Oh yeah, the Shrek and Donkey custom. Yeah, that's Studson. I love his Shrek custom. His Shrek custom uses the Gushin body that Fiverr's been painting, actually. Yeah, the Cyberpunk Shrek Outhouse was the first Studson video I saw. He doesn't shout me out all the time, Nathaniel. He gave me one shout out, but it was a very impactful shout out that I'm very grateful for. Thank you, man. He comments on almost all my videos. Yeah, and he did a Zagok Toy Story Alien custom. He has like a Banjo-Kazooie custom too. He didn't do a video for that one though. Yeah, that's true, Cyber Scorpio. Yeah, me and Studson have similar energy in that way. Or yeah, the yeah, I'm excited to see the Pizza Gun Gushin as well. Yeah, my Red Bull God Gundam and Ginger Ale Nobel Gundam are adjacent to the classic Fiverr customs, or similar energy for sure. I think it's time. What we got? Okay, let's just use up these brighter tones up here before we add some light. Refill the bit of a glaze medium. Yeah, the problem with painting gray is I don't have any like tasty looking juice paint water. It's just gray water. I don't have like tasty looking grape juice like the last stream. The space roadies can be meatballs. Oh yeah, Zospi, sounds like there's a lot going on there. It's hard to decide. Alright, let's see what shade we're at here. It's about the middle shade, okay. Don't have to do a whole lot here, just a quick reinforcement of the main tone. And just a little blend. Yep, the internet just flickered on and off for a second there. Apologies, people. Hopefully there wasn't too much of a disruption. Don't know what happened there. Oh, we lost track of the, or I guess in the streaming software. Streaming software, the timer's gone now, but knows about like 2 hours 10 minutes, we'll say. I think that's about right. On the YouTube display, it has the, oh yeah, the YouTube display is 2 hours 10 minutes, so hopefully that doesn't awkwardly split the VOD into two. Strengthen this area a bit more. I can see too many brush strokes there. We'll have to come back to that area. Yeah, 400 million Tau, relatable. Not with the Tau, just with the 400 million part. Yeah, the man Rhodey is a goofy name. That's, I think we hit 5 burps tonight, Robert. We just hit the average number of 5. It's about, yeah, usually I get 4 or 5 out of a can, 6 if I'm lucky. Space Roadies. Dragonfly Glaze by Folk Art. I have not. Yeah, that'll be, with all those smooth Tau armor panels, you're gonna need plenty of, you might have to break your rule and do some thin coats there, Fiverr. That's like one of those projects might be a good one. You like pick it up, work on it for a while, get burnt out, put it down, work on something else, and come back to it. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. It's kind of what I'm doing with the Sazabi. Once the base is done and glued on, I need to pause on the Sazabi for a bit so I can finish the battle report. Which still has so much editing to do. But at the same time, I can't, like, my brain has to, like, switch between different projects all the time. I can't, like, work on the same thing for multiple hours in a row. Usually I'm, like, paint for an hour, edit video for an hour, do random emails and other work for an hour, then circle back to painting, but, you know, with breaks in between. How do you make it look like key lime pie? These are the questions that only you can answer. Or, I mean, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's the questions that... the questions we didn't know we needed to be answered, but then you came onto the scene and showed us the true potential of food color schemes. I'm going a bit too hard on the bright part of this gradient. Gotta feather it away. Spaghetti Tyrannid. A bunch of Italian restaurant themed Gundam. That would be a fun diorama. A Play-Doh Fun Factory. I'll add some white to the palette next. And then when I use up that, I'll probably feel like the gradient will be mostly done with one more pass after that. We'll have to wait and see, of course. How's the gradient looking to all of you? That's a spicy meatball. I'm part Italian, so I'm allowed to do the Italian accent. That's never stopped anyone, though. Oh, the spicy meatball. I'm trying to... Yeah, maybe it's from The Mask. There's so many Jim Carrey movies where he, like, plays himself, Jim Carrey. It's hard to differentiate them in my mind. Ah, so it was the mask. Not too bright. Wrong spot. Okay, that means we need a bit of this. And who knew, as soon as I stop painting turquoise bases, it gets harder. I've been too used to painting turquoise. A GM in a maid outfit washing Gundam armor plates in a washing machine. That would be entertaining to see. And it has to be a just a Gundam with like a cloth like doll outfit or like doll sized maid outfit put on. No, Noble Gundam's a Sailor Scout. Okay, so we gotta add some white and some more gray to the palette now. Yeah, let's not open that can of worms, Nathaniel. If I was named after the Trans Am system, I have no idea. I've only watched 3 episodes, no, only 2 episodes of Gundam 00. That was more white paint than I wanted. Double zero. Is it faux pas calling it 00? Is it supposed to be 00? Isn't it called 00 because it takes place in like our Earth timeline in the 2000s? No, I guess it would take place in the future, but it's been a while since I even watched those episodes that I did watch. Fake Gundam fan confirmed. Cancel me now. Ah, Croissant Gundam. I like where you're going with this. Oh, TM, but okay, I think I get that. Oh, it wasn't a real question. It was just you were just trying to get your pun in there. I see. I should have known. Yeah, it confused me too. Okay, let's see what's... Yeah, and the last time I was doing these brighter colors, that was when I started running into issues, so I gotta be a bit more mindful now. Baklava Gundam. That's adjacent to a croissant Gundam for sure. Oh, too dark. Too dark. When it comes to painting my gradients in general, there's always a certain part I hit where I'm like, okay, it's smooth enough. If I keep, like, at a certain point I have to make the call, like, if I want to get complete smoothness, it's going to take an unreasonable amount of time. It doesn't have to be buttery smooth. It'll, you know, look fine, or it'll look more than fine. Especially on the base, like, the gradient effect will show more than well enough, because when you're gonna be looking, you're gonna be looking at more like this, right? And you're gonna be paying attention to the giant Sazabi that's standing on top. Best IBO design? The Gushin, obviously. Yeah, the Gundam timelines do require hour-long YouTube videos to explain. No, I don't, Robert. Vidar is also a very good design. I mean, I say Gushin, but that's from my mouth, that makes me sound like a hypocrite, because I'm sure most of you are expecting me to say Barbatos, but, you know, Barbatos and Gushin are pretty close in my mind. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. I'm in the mood for, like, an edgy boy or a thick boy. Zone of the Enders. Okay. Yeah, I knew that. I saw that pun, or I was like, assumed it was a pun this time when you asked. Yeah, I agree with your thoughts, Nathaniel. Yeah, that's the answer I expected out of you, Fiverr. The Man Rodi is like it's like the brother to the Gushin, basically. I kind of like the feet on the Man Rodi better, but the Man Rodi doesn't have the big goofy hammer like the Gushin does. Venusaur Gundam. This area is looking a little rough, but I need to let it dry before I go and fix it, otherwise I'll tear up paint probably. That is an interesting fact, Cyber Scorpio. Let's do these triangles. So much back and forth just on this one little triangle. Yeah, that's you gotta be on the other, be in the zone, be in my comment zone this time, Fiverr. Gun cannon would do a good Blastoise custom. I'm glad you think my chat's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of like demonic names in IBO. Beowulf. That one's not quite dry enough yet. This one could use a bit of blending. Sorry, I touched the camera with my head again. Whoopsie. If I had the Gundam crossbone, would I customize it for Gamma Wolves? Good question, I don't know. I don't have any... I don't know what the next Gamma Wolves thing I'm gonna do is. I don't know whether to add more to the protagonist and antagonist crew or start a new crew. But like the projects I got coming up, the next few ones aren't gonna be Gamma Wolves. Which I feel like is fair because I've put out a lot of Gamma Wolves content this year. And I want to talk about other things too, but you know, I ain't gonna stop playing Gamma Wolves. I mean, come on. I wish I had more time so I could play more games. A bunch of different games. That part's not quite dry enough yet. Yeah, you might enjoy the Crossbones Gundam Fiverr. It's pirate themed. I don't know how you feel about pirates. Every time there's something that's like mildly, you know, goofy or silly, I assume you would enjoy it. You know, I mean that in an endearing way. Feel like getting close to the finish line of the glazing at the very least. At this point, maybe I'll get to some of the edge highlighting in this stream, but I don't know if I'll have time to like. Well, I definitely won't have time to finish the edge highlighting in this stream. We're at like past 2.5 hours now. I'm gonna hit 3 hours without even taking a break. Maybe. Okay, yeah, there's just a few areas that I feel need to be cleaned up or smoothed out still. Maybe I won't even need to add more paint to the palette. Well, if you love pirates, you should check out the Crossbone Gundam then, Fiverr. Bandai stole your idea. Calamity Gundam. I like the Hejiraboshi too. Alright, let's use up the rest of this white. All the wet palette action after this base is done is going to be a lot more colorful than just all these gray tones. Can all look forward to that. Let's see here. I might need to add just a little drop of gray to the palette, maybe. Just gonna really go hard on finishing up these gradients, then I'll catch up on the chat. Okay, I'm gonna need to add just a little more, just one more drop of gray to the palette to finish things off. So I'll catch up on the chat first. Pirate Gundam isn't even goofy enough for you, I see. Jagadoga, middle high school jock eagle, alright. Okay, you didn't mean to say it. So just a high school jock eagle. That sounds kind of, that design is kind of familiar in my head. Sounds like a cool Kitbash. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're called rebakes because, like, in the show, like, the Gushin rebake is, I can't remember, what's Akihiro's, the pilot's mech's name before it becomes the Gushin rebake? I can't remember, but, like, the Gushin rebake has parts from the Gushin on it, so I think, like, when something becomes a rebake, that's when they add salvage from other mechs that they defeat in battle. Yeah, Robert, I did check out the Gundam Explained channel when you first brought them up a while ago, and it seems good enough. It's just not the kind of content I'm watching these days. I'm sure the Discord's cool and everything, but I kind of have to limit my time on Discords and just stay in the ones I'm in right now, just because of time. It can get to be too much of a time sink for me when I've got too much on my plate already. I didn't notice that about the profile picture either, Nathaniel. Good eye. Okay, looks like we do need just a splash more white. I am in your Discord, Fiverr, that is correct. And you can attest for how often I post in there. It's like, I used the Warhammer Talk channel the other day just to show you the army of Zotes. Because I was procrastinating, and then... See what I mean? The time sink, that's what I'm talking about. And then I used your self-promotion channel to, like, cheekily be like, I know Fiverr's streaming right now, but I'm also streaming. But don't stop watching Fiverr's stream, because this is their server. Yes, if y'all can hit up Fiverr if you want in their Discord. It's pretty bumpin'. I do not have my own personal Discord, or I don't have a Discord at this moment, so... don't get me wrong, I don't hate Discord or anything. I've just, like, learned over the last couple of years that I kind of have to purposely limit my time on there, or else I end up spending too much time on there. I much prefer Discord to Facebook groups, though, when it comes to, like, discussions of niche hobbies. Really? You said that. You're too kind, Fiverr, too kind. Alright, that looks like just the shade I need. I hope. Yeah, this area is still, like, texture's giving me a hard time. Thanks for the free promo, Fiverr. Appreciate it. I'm not in it to succeed on YouTube. I just want to be able to get the painting and modeling and gaming done that I want to. And video making, I should say, in that. You know, the process of making videos is a lot different from painting, but it's still a very creative process. And involves similar thought processes, I suppose. I've spent many years being creative with cameras as well as painting minis, or being creative with painting minis, so they're just two different crafts that I'm combining, that combine to form Millennial Model Mayhem, I suppose. Yeah, there's something like here, there's an argument to be made for tidying up that gradient more, but I'm not sure if I will. I'm so close. So close to the end of this glazing, I think. That's not, it's a bit too thin. Another thing to keep in mind is like the placement of, or the feet of the Sazabi can be strategically used to like cover up undesirable parts of the paint job. One thing to keep in mind. It's a little trick. More over here, and I'll take a breather and catch up on the chat again. Too thin. That paint is too thin. Oh, there's another hair. Get out of here. Damn hair's ruining my base. Did I get it? I think I got it. Well, that was mildly annoying. Yeah, let's just take a breather, I'll catch up. You were a subscriber from Video 1. Regular show. I can see that show referencing Evangelion. Yeah, being a ghost on social media has its appeal. A Zoid. I appreciate Zoids. They're a little pricey sometimes, so you know I would do one for a commission, but it would be cool to do like one of the dinosaur ones. I'm sure I could have a lot of fun with that if the opportunity presented itself. Yeah, motivation does go in waves sometimes. Motivation has to be cultivated sometimes too. It's tricky. Double rainbow. I saw one of those a while ago. Beat 'em on. That sounds familiar. You gonna win your game, Robert? Do need to... Sorry, my hair keeps getting in the way of the camera there. There's one area there that kind of needs to be fixed with the dark tones, I think. But just kind of that one area. So let's just put a teeny tiny bit of black back on the palette to get that done. We're just gonna... Just a teeny tiny bit. Yeah. With some glaze medium, of course. Yeah, that's what I like to see, Nathaniel. I want the people get drawn in by one video and then they fall down the rabbit hole that is the Millennial Model Mayhem content zone. And we'll also need just a little bit more of this gray. Congrats, Robert. Okay, gotta be careful here. Gotta get the placement just right. A little bit of wet blending. Oh, messed up a bit already. That's better. Too bright, too bright. Too dark, too dark. I'm sure you all can see how essential the wet palette is for this right now. Okay, I think I need to leave that one for now. Let's see. I think just one spot left to do in this. That's this area here. We just need to fill out that middle section a bit better. And hopefully just the middle gray is good enough. Probably need to go just a little darker. Let's see, do a test. Tiny bit darker perhaps. Yeah. Okay, now I'll catch up on the chat again. Sad boy Galleon, that's good, that's good. Oh yeah, Nathaniel, are you in the G squad? Or you're just aware of the G squad? Evangelion can make you depressed, but it can also help you understand depression a bit. Not like a licensed healthcare professional can, though. Yeah, I mean, I've seen End of Evangelion like 4 or 5 times now, maybe 6 times. Okay, thanks for coming, Fiverr. Bye. Appreciate you. I do not have those paints. Yeah, I assumed you meant G-Paint, Nathaniel. Alright, I think these gradients are blended enough for me at this point. Although now that I'm looking at this section, it's a little off. Let's take care of that. This section. What color do we want? And let's get a little brighter. Okay, we got a little too dark on that now. We just need to salvage a bit of this brighter. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll probably just have to leave the... If I keep blending anymore, I'll just never stop. Yeah, that's how it be sometimes, Nathaniel. You just gotta spend time in the present. Alright, see ya, Dark Matter. And Robert. Thanks for coming. You too, Nathaniel. Yeah, it's the start of school coming up. Oh, look at that, we're at 2:59. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to do the edge highlighting next time. I'll just quickly grab some of the Sazabi pieces to show off to you all who are still here. You can see what the finished base coats on that look like. It's just behind me here. We got the purple boy. Purple and black. Green, that's gonna be like, become very neon and green and glowy. This is just the base coat green. Got back. Got the legs. Show you the arms now. And that's what the demon arm looks like. Yeah, I think his was more, the main color was black. So yeah, I'm excited to get this base done. Then I'll be gluing the main body on. Alright, well, I am gonna start wrapping up the stream now. Well, I got paint left on the palette. There's barely any paint left on the palette. Yeah, I don't think I can... Yeah, if anyone has any last minute questions for me, now's your chance. The next stream won't be for a while. Basically, I'll be finishing up the edge highlights on this base off camera sometime. And basically after that, I gotta shift my energies to focusing more on the battle report than the Sazabi, so I can get that out within a reasonable amount of time. I don't really have an ETA for it. Because, like I said in that post I made the other day, it's like a video, it's new territory for me, so I'm kind of experimenting a lot. It's making things take longer. Yeah, hopefully my mouth, I just realized my mouth was pointing away from the mic there. Gundam kit recommendations or Warhammer kits? I mean, there's so many Gundam and Warhammer kits, I can't just give a vague recommendation. Warhammer kits, I recommend looking in the used market just because they're very expensive to buy new. Hello, Titan. I believe I checked those out. If you sent them to me, I probably watched them, Cyber Scorpio. I can't remember. So much content flies through my brain, it's hard to remember it all. Will I be adding decals? Decals? No, I don't usually add decals to my Model Mayhem style kits, because there's already enough visual information going on with the edge highlights and gradients. I usually only do decals when I'm doing a like traditional style build that's not like glued in place and not hand painted or anything. Caught one little area here. Whoops, here I go, just glazing back and forth again. Fix one area and be like, whoops, now I need to fix this. Gives you all a chance to get a last minute chat in if you need. Okay, gotta stop myself there. I think I watched your speed build video, Daniel. Any Zaku, that's right, Bo. I mean, maybe avoid the, like, very first real grade Zaku. I hear it's a low floppy, but there's some high grade Zakus that came out recently that are very good. Yeah, I should say, like, you know, people can send me videos to watch, but don't ever expect, like, and this should go for, like, any time you're sending anyone a video. It's like, you can never force, in general, you can never force anyone to watch something. It's like, you know, there's nothing inherently wrong with sending someone a video to watch, but, like, you gotta like, manage your expectations with it, you know? Yeah, that's the thing with making videos. There's always something you can improve on. That's why you just gotta start making them. It's like the best way to get, like, good at them is just to keep making them. And, like, almost any YouTuber or, like, just person who makes videos you talk to, if you ask them what their first video was like, they might, like, cringe a little internally, because everyone kind of feels that way about their first videos. From what I hear, that's how I feel. Going back to, I mean, I made in my, like, the second Monster Marine video I did, I made a joke about how bad the footage looked in my first Monster Marine video, so. Yeah, what I was saying about sending me videos is, like, you can and that, but, you know, the more videos you send me, and if you keep asking me, like, did you watch it? Did you watch it? It's like, I suppose that's a bit of internet faux pas. But yeah, just in general, I think it's good to manage your expectations. You can't, like, ever expect anyone to watch a video and you send it to them. Whether it's your video or someone else's, you just gotta, like, hope that they watch it. Because, you know, if it's like, you know, it's different if it's something important, like involving safety or health. But if it's like an inconsequential YouTube video, you know, people got their own stuff going on. You gotta let them watch it when they have time. Yeah, self-promotion is tricky like that. Some people get annoyed by it. Some people are okay with it. But, like, in general, if you're making content, you have to do self-promotion to get people to see it. And sometimes people can be a little mean about, like, when they see others self-promoting, and that's not good. I don't think you should be mean. Like, that's why it's good when Discord channels have, or Discord servers have dedicated channels for self-promotion. I think that's always needed. Like, Reddit can get weird about self-promotion, too. I don't know a lot about Reddit, or, like, I've only lightly touched Reddit over the years. Okay, I gotta stop glazing this. Alright, well, I'm going to wrap up the stream. I broke 3 hours, and like I said, gotta work on the battle report video hard for a while, so there probably won't be a live stream next week. But clearly there's still lots of work to be done on the Sazabi and lots of work on other projects in general. I've got live stream friendly projects to last an eternity. So yeah, thanks for coming, everyone, and I will see you next stream. Follow me on the social media if you want to find out when that's gonna be. Bye.